identity. That being said, there's nothing worse than being suppressed by your own. And so there's this book that I am encouraging everybody to read. It's called Animal Farm. TikTok people, I know some of them know it. My people on YouTube, I know the world knows this, Animal Farm. But there's a big thing now in the Jamaican space about independence. There's this big thing about the drive to get to a republic. And the people want to have an understanding of why your masters, because they don't feel like they are your servants, why your masters, why the political elite want to get to a republic. It's a rush to abuse. I'm humbly submitting this. And unless you get mature, the opportunity for mature consideration and proper public education. And I'm talking now to my dunce people. I'm talking to my people who can admit I am an uneducated person when it comes to them law thing and the constitution thing. You would tell your representative, listen, speak in a language so me can understand. Make me understand what you say. So I don't care how you bright and you brilliant. Make me understand, and if me not understand, you can't get my vote for a referendum. But until it is that your rights are enforced the way that it should, your rights are reflected as our Chief Justice Sykes. Listen, I say this every day, because I am a true fan of Justice Sykes. I'm a true fan because he represents Black identity. When you see your Black brother excelling, it is for the purpose of your kids and the next generation, so you have a markers of where you want to be in your life. This is what is so important about speaking in context matters, because you want to know where the ceilings that you can shatter, the glass ceilings. Portia shattered a ceiling that Hillary Clinton never had the opportunity to do, and she's a white woman. But Portia became the first female prime minister in a region that included America that Hillary Clinton didn't do it. And these are you, and so women have the ambition to want to be prime ministers, and your sons and daughters must have that same ambition to be the best versions of themselves. So while it is that I have full ambition to one day own a KFC franchise, so I don't have to join the line to get the barbecue chicken and these things. I have to have markers of what I want to be or where I want to be able to ascertain, to be able to reach my goals, to be able to do that. That's where we're headed. That's what we want. So here's the trick now. The justice system in Jamaica would have been thrust in the spotlight, and rightly so. By guess who? Vybz Kartel himself. So it is no wonder that there was a push to ensure that the loud Rasta boy don't get an opportunity. And so the elite class did what they had to do. It speaks for itself. I don't have to interpret, people can do. So I'm not even going to encourage anybody or incite anybody to think what the elite attempted to do. I was tried by a panel of my peers, all non-Black people who rule with a heavy hand, and I trust the justice system, and it led to where we are today. So who God bless, no man cursed. But when we speak of systems, when we speak of the right to a fair hearing within a reasonable time, let me read what our Constitution says. So me want to educate my Jamaican people, and if you're not from Jamaica, Google your Constitution and see what your Constitution says about this thing, because this is what we talk. This is what was put on the world stage. How do I know it was on the world stage? I see it everywhere I go. I went into movie theaters and people said, I saw you on the stream. I'm walking on the street as a common man and people recognize who I am. For if you ever hear about 15 minutes of fame, it was literally that as the length of time that I had to make an impact in a passionate plea to ensure that the rights of 4 men who are wrongfully convicted by complete, and I'm going to say it, and I will get in trouble for it, but I'm going to say it, complete, utter dishonesty, disregard for the Constitution, a lack of integrity, gambling, like this is a casino, risk-taking, desperation, evil, wickedness, Babylon system to ensure that when we got to this time in life, what you think happened? This time in life, Afrobeats has excelled far beyond reggae because the players, the movers and the shakers was oppressed. We've had in this, out of Jamaica, just like how we have Usain Bolt, we got Bob Marley. And people going to say I'm biased, but do not ever count this out. I've said this in many spaces. Vybz Kartel is a national treasure. Vybz Kartel was placed in the Court of Appeal, Courtroom 1 in the Privy Council. His appeal was heard in the biggest court of the land and heard by the president of the Privy Council and the appeal court, the appellate court, and given the respect and the humanity, something that was missed and lost in other spaces, and a discussion of constitutional rights and giving effect to for us, by us. Because when our charter was created, this thing that I don't leave it, I walk with it and my Bible. I don't ever leave it, so I want y'all to see it. It's called it's the Jamaican Constitution, but it's this particular aspect of it was bounded and given to me by Mr. Bert Samuels, once my mentor, and he said this was important, and I would have known that because I was schooled by Tracy Robinson and nurtured at the University of the West Indies, and a skumpy school me go. So a test to show that when you speak about the Constitution, it's your Constitution. They don't know it. The Lords respectfully don't know it. But when our Chief Justice says, listen, this is homegrown. This was made by us, the people, for the people, by the people, not from our colonial masters. To have us escape slavery, knowing that when we escape slavery, and on the road to independence, we had to make sure that the least among us would be treated as humans. Because all of we now gonna have money, but I can tell you, say, all the riches, the silver and gold will vanish away, but a good constitution will never decay, and the creatures of the constitution can never abuse you when the constitution is working. So what happened February 14th and 15th, the working of the Constitution, the showing up of a disgraceful moment where the constitutional rights, not now, because I can tell you this with pride and authority, that in Jamaica, the court, and you can ask the people who are always on, whether it be the Rattigan show or previously the Andre Stevens show, any one of these shows, when I appear on these platforms and we talk about the Constitution and talk about the judiciary, it works. So the complaint being made on the Vybz kartel case was when the charter was just changed. Is when we were getting rid of the wickedness and the bad mind and the corruption. Corruption still there now. It's in your parliament. The 6 don't come out yet. But the corruption within the police force, the use of the man's phone, the tampering of technological information. And then you have, we soon talk about the jury. When you put people who deal with police, husband and wife, white dep on the jury or the police were responsible for security, soldier dep on the jury, woman were sleep floor but her man a police, and the mix up, and then woman were own funeral parlor where I walk up the street but had a cell phone, and she's the this and she's that. All of them mix up here go on, you know. Real thing. And these things is what is the other side of the game. And so the right to privacy now is get your privacy, breach your privacy, then scandal you. It's called ad hominem. Scandal you and use information to shift the narrative in the public space and speak about circumstantial things that don't necessarily have inescapable inferences. But why I say all of this? Because a jury of your peers is all those things that I tell you. But the key aspect of it is a properly constituted jury. That is what we must think about. A properly constituted jury. So I go back to it now. And our Constitution, Section 16.1 says, whenever a person is charged, it's with a criminal offense, he shall, unless the charge is withdrawn, be afforded a fair hearing within a reasonable time by an independent and impartial court established by law. You see that? Independent and impartial court. People must ask themselves, what is the independent and impartial court? Well, at the time it would have been the jury, at the time it would have been the judge, and at the time it would have been how the process works. The defense attorneys come in and the prosecutor is there and all of that. So,
chat, sorry for disturb, but drop